everybody, we are back on with Guruji, and we talked about fear last time. We talked about fear. Hi Darshan. With Hey everybody. So we talked about fear last time and how fear arises because we are trying to hold on to things which are already transient, and once we Hey Hechon no Kasahira. Oh, hi here. Once we realize how the real truth, right, is that unity with the cosmos is that state of being where all of this outside is drama. I actually want to share something. Hey Jaya, I want to share something before Guruji enters or joins us. There was this through the conversations of Guruji. There was one conversation where I had a completely eureka moment, and this is what that moment was. That as we are born in this world, and as children, we are knowing of that reality as babies in the mother's womb. We're connected to the cosmos. Otherwise, there's no way a child who wants to engage in a baby in the womb who wants to engage in the sensory world can stay like this, right? But the truth is, out there, when we're in the mother's womb, our physical presence is just completely irrelevant. It's not something that we think of so much. We're in another world. We're connected to the cosmic reality. Then as we are born in this world, we just kind of are looking at our mother for everything, right? That's our connection to the world. As we get older, we suddenly start using our five senses, and we get so engaged in the world. We get so engaged in everything around us, and we start getting excited about the world. We start really being a part of the world through our five senses. The outside becomes very real, and the inside becomes not so real. And it's supposed to be like that. We get excited about the things outside. We take worldly pursuits. As we hit our 40s, late 30s, early 40s, 50s, and we realize that all of these things, all of these pursuits that we kind of ran after, that were so exciting to us, are transient, because we start losing loved ones. We start saying, "Hey, friends," we start seeing that things that were in our lives start changing. Our youth starts going away, and when that happens, right, there's a realization that, oh, this is not permanent. Now we can take two roads at that point. At that point, we can just go and keep chasing what's impermanent through our five senses, or start realizing that there's another reality inside that I need to go back to. And I think that's what all of this spiritual work is. That when we realize, we come into the world, we engage through our five senses, we enjoy the world. And then when we realize its transience or its impermanence, to make the journey back within. One of the conversations we've had with Guruji, which were basically about death, and it was just that when the inner world, when that cosmic reality becomes so true, and we have rehearsed death, we've been in that plane before, it just seems like that's real and this is a drama. I think for the first half of our lives, we're like, this is real and there's nothing inside, and the internal drama we miss completely. So anyways, I think Guruji is here. I wanted to share that's been very inspiring to me. That has been a very inspiring thing to me, and I keep thinking about it all the time. And let's get Guruji on. Oh, unable to join. Guruji, it says unable to join. Can you give me a request again? Can you send a request again? If you just disconnect and reconnect, because right now it won't let me allow you to join for whatever reason. Yeah, so I wanted to just share that, right? All of the meditative practices are about creating that eternal state inside. And I've seen that for people in my family who've been able to somewhat create that state, not 100%, but they have been able to, whenever they've passed away, there's already like a light. I can't say disconnect, right, from the world, because that won't be good. But it's a gentle attachment to the world. It's not as intense. Not Guruji. And I can see Krishna ji here as well. Pranam Guruji.
Pranam, how are you?
I'm very well, Guruji. I'm very well. How are you, Guruji?
Perfect.
Yeah,
Doing well.
doing well. Getting busy, Guruji?
As usual.
As usual, Guruji. It's getting hot now or not yet?
Yes, yes. Summer started. It will go up to June. Then we will get monsoon.
Yes, yes, yes. Great, Guruji. Great. So we have to pick up from the last conversation that we had, Guruji. We had started talking about fear.
Yes.
And towards the end of our conversation, we had said that a lot of these fears arise because of the masks that we wear. So Guruji, can we summarize? Can you, for us, bring us back there to the fears that we have of losing things which are impermanent to begin with, and how those masks come into play, and then we'll take it from there.
Yes. So as a summary of our last session, we all are, the ordinary people who are living in the plane of sense, living in a fear. But people may say that or think that I don't have any fear. I'm okay, I'm perfect, everything. But there is no consistency in that feeling. Whatever is coming in our mind has not got any consistency. From a yogic point of view, I can say if we are living in the plane of senses or under the influence of the senses, we are not seeing the reality. Their life is a slavery. However, facilities or explanations are given. Life is a slavery so long as we are living in the boundary of or within the boundary of our senses. Then the other side of that boundary is the infinity. That is the reality of life. That is an ecstatic experience. The reality beyond the senses. The people who have tried to transcend the limitations of the senses, the sages, the successful sages, all declared that the life which we are experiencing as the material life is not permanent and that is not existing as it is. That is why traditionally it is said, Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya. Jagat means material world. But Brahma, which is beyond our senses, that is Satyam, the truth. Modern science also declaring that fact now. There is no matter as we perceive. Matter is the manifested world is a temporary manifestation which is subject to the power of understanding. That's what's happening. So, as a conclusion, our manifested or experiencing material world is a big lie. Technically, I can say it's a big lie. Life is a lie. But what is the other side of life? Truth. So manifested world, material world is Maya, lie, illusion. Other side is truth. Unless we understand that truth, we are enslaved in this life. Based on that biggest lie, we are trying to convince others or convince ourselves that, yes, I am the truth. This is what is happening. Since we are not having that experience of truth, we keep on changing the mask of our presentation. So when I speak to my child, society taught me, hey, you are a father. So you have to speak like this. You should behave like this. You should, maintain this law of society. So I wear that mask of a father. When I speak with my wife, I'm a husband. So I have to wear the mask of the husband. When I speak to my student, I am the master. I should wear the mask of must. So life is a combination of masks. And we are tired of wearing that. And we are asking ourselves, what is my real state? How can I exist without a mask? So long as we have a body or we are enslaved inside the body framework, we must wear that naturally installed mask. When we go beyond that, we have to eliminate this filters. I can say mask means filters. We are wearing different filters. These filters should be removed. Like when we peel the onion, layer by layer, we remove. Finally, we will come to know there was nothing as I walked. Right. It was only filters. When we remove the filters, then we will remain as nothing, or it's called shunyata in Sanskrit. Shunyata means emptiness. But there is not a state which we call empty. There is something, but beyond our comprehension. That's all. So long as we wear this mask, so long as we are under the influence of these filters or masks, we will have certain kind of fear because we don't know what is beyond that. Ignorance is the cause of fear. So if we want to be fearless, we have to remove all these filters. Good, no?
Yes, Guruji. I'm going to summarize what Guruji said, that we basically we come into the world and we are living in these boundaries, the social conditioning boundary, what we know, we are whoever we know ourselves to be, as a daughter, as whatever we are, and we create a boundary. And of course, the boundary, beyond that boundary, is infinity, is eternity, is a state of freedom. But we're all living in this boundary. And our natural state, the actual essential state, is actually the state of that infinity. It's that state of eternity. But now we want to live in these boundaries. And then to live in these boundaries, we end up wearing these masks. We end up having these layers or these filters because that's the only way we will fit in this. Because otherwise, if we didn't wear it, our essential nature would just be to merge with the cosmos, with the universal consciousness. And since we have we belong, or we want to belong in this whole structure with boundaries, we keep wearing filters, and then to protect ourselves and to keep us within those boundaries, to feel safe in those boundaries, we keep wearing more and more masks. But as we keep wearing these masks, we keep moving away from who we really are inside.
That's all.
But Guruji, we've forgotten what that state was, So it's like, where does the journey begin? Like, how do you, on a daily practical basis, work with these masks? Because Guruji, we come and when we take on, whether because it's of the social, the social expectation, for whatever reason, we all take on responsibilities, that of a mother, of a daughter. So we are in this structure. We have a role in this structure. So where do we begin exploring the dissociation of these masks?
Daily, minimum 24 minutes to 45 minutes. We should, disconnect ourselves from world, society, body, everything. We should learn to connect ourselves with the reality without the influence of our senses. Yoga, Chitta, Vritti, Nirodha, Patanjali. So practice that. So with that practicing time, 24 minutes to 45 minutes, will make everybody aware of the reality, the infinity of our existence. That memory. See, this is what's happening. Why I say these things with a bold voice. This is what is instructed by our masters. Even 10,000, 15,000 years ago, it was conveyed through words, shrudis. See the background of the science. According to the new studies, like carbon dating and all these things, these techniques or this branch of science was started recording around 10 to 15,000 years ago. Then before that, it was Shruti. People were by hearting it. There was no writing tools. So from this tradition, this profound tradition, it is taken to the present day. Now we have all kinds of methodologies, techniques to verify its relevance and the scientific background. So what we should do is just practice, experience it. 24 to 1. Why I insist 24? It's called one Nadiga. 24 hours Earth will take to rotate, to make a complete rotation of the sun. So like that, what we should do, that one Nadiga, 24 minutes, we have to get that part. Identify ourselves with the reality. Then when we come out from that practice, with that memory, it will be alive in our each and every breath. So masters from this tradition, they taught us. Now we can verify its relevance through our achievements and the practical lessons, then bring it into practice. I did that, and I experience it and enjoy it. So that's why I'm delivering to this, to our people. Come on, try this. This one Nadiga, this 24 minutes will make the beginning. As you said, how we begin. Practice it. Within 3 months to 1 year, you will feel something is happening. The sprout, you will feel the spark within. You just enhance that
Absolutely.
spark, develop it. Then slowly it will permeate to each and every cell of the body.
Absolutely, Guruji, absolutely. So what Guruji is saying that, we do so much active work. Guruji, today all of modern psychology is about taking off these filters. But instead of taking off these filters, which seems like a completely crazy task, we have to go back to remembering who we are. That's what, so it's, instead of saying, oh, let me pull out these masks. But if once you find the memory of who we are, once we find that state of that existence, which we can through the daily practice, then automatically the bonds in this world, the bonds to the masks, and I do see that happening, that those bonds as the meditation practice, and I'm so early in my meditation practice, but still I've noticed that the more that state is experienced in meditation, and that silent, it's a kind of an experience of silence. It's an experience of just being lost in time and space. And as that happens, the bonds here, these bonds which you carry in the world, seem less intense. That asakti, that desperation and yearning for everything else in the world becomes less and more lighthearted. Is that correct, Guruji?
Yeah, this is, somebody's feeling will be like, you will start relating things with your present day commitments and way of life. Suppose a person who is living in the dense forest, he may not be having your problem, your environment. So he will try to relate his experiences with his own environment. So whatever we try, it is not a mental exercise. It's like we would like to clean a blackboard. But the cloth which we are taking to clean the blackboard is having its own color. We try to clean it, again another color is being fixed in the blackboard. This is what is happening when we try to deal with these situations in an intellectual way. That is why Master said, obliterate these, the limitations of the senses. Yoga, chitta, vritti, nirvana. I'm sorry to repeat this one, but there is nothing else.
No. That's, yeah, Guruji.
So we have to eliminate the functions of our intellect. So intellectual fabric is completely covered us. So we are trying to remove each and every thread. But when we remove one thread, 100 threads are covering us. Again, we try to remove 10 more, then 1,000 threads are covering us. So it's an endless activity. Instead of doing that, we should stop the production of the threads. I mean, intellectual fabric. I mean, thoughts. How we can do that? Either you should sleep. You should fall asleep. There, your intellect is not working. But when you are in that state, you don't know who you are and what you are. Nothing is under your experience. So that is why we have to make an artificial sleep. That is what is called yoga nidra. Nidra is sleep. Yoga is it's like an deliberate effort to experience the sleep. So when we get the yoga nidra, the conscious sleep, which is called meditation, there intellect will be eliminated or uninstalled, then instinct will be awakened. Once you feel that instinct through the intellectual fabric, so it's an internal process. It has nothing to do with the external activity, I mean the senses. When that union takes place, union between intellect and the instinct, there a third factor will be revealed to you or the sadhaka as the reality, which is intuition. So intellect and instinct will make a union between brain and lungs. Once it happens, prana will merge into mind. Their soul will come up. I mean, spirit will evolve. That is what is called spiritual revelation. Practical lesson. Daily practice is the only way to remove these masks or remove the slavery of our intellectual cover.
So Guruji, as we keep practicing, right? Like I've been practicing now for a while, and it's of course it's very small in the speck of my many lifetimes, so it's not that much, right? But I've been practicing, and I've been practicing the breathing, but I've also been practicing meditation for longer than that, for a few years. And so I do see differences, but I will tell you. So Guruji, but your sanskars, right? Yeah, my sanskars have less power now. Sanskars are just habit. I'm telling the audience that sanskars are habit patterns, triggers that I carried from lifetimes, from childhood. So the power of those sanskars are less, but they still continue to exist. And they will continue. So, and even the masks, right? I understand my attachment to the masks may be slightly lowering. So as you practice, do you just stay on the road and does it naturally just slip away? Do you naturally come to a point where you don't experience any of this bondage? Is that just you just keep doing it and gradually reduce it when the time is right?
Two things from your talk I noticed. One is you are bothered about samskara and these things. Forget it. So there you are again strengthening the mind. So it will not support you in the sadhana. Second thing is the
Guruji, sorry, I'm gonna get that. This is really bad today. Somebody's come at the door, but okay. Sorry, Guruji. Yes.
okay, it's okay. Take care.
Sorry, Guruji. Back now.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
One second, गुरुजी 5 मिनट में निकलना है उसको हाँ 5 मिनट में निकलना है उसको Sorry, गुरुजी
Fine. See, this different role in
different
life.
role yeah my girls have to go to school in 5 minutes and yeah Guruji, sorry, let's come back to it. So the sanskaras, we were talking about sanskaras.
Yeah. So these things are not relevant in our daily practice. This is for bringing our experiences to a level of explanation. There we have to go through all these things. For a real sadhana who is focused only on the spiritual practice, these things are not very relevant. Second thing, the mask, which you mentioned that nobody can survive or live in this world without mask. So long as you are in the body, you have to wear the mask. So long as you are dealing with the different categories of society, social laws, you have to wear different masks. But the benefit of spiritual sadhana is we will wear the mask comfortably. Now, the difference between the Bhaudika, the materially attached person, and a Jivan Mukta or a spiritually elevated person is the material man will feel the load of the mask, the pain of the mask. But the spiritually elevated person will not feel the weight or load of the mask. He can see through the mask, see the reality through the mask. That is the difference. So when I look at you, if I am a materially, established person, and I am not spiritually experienced, when I look at you, I will see you as a woman. Then that woman will have different attributes. Okay, she is sitting there, and she is an Indian origin, and many informations are there, and it will be installed on you. My intellect will impose all these things on you, and I will get confused. Oh, how I will manage with this woman? Then I will ask to myself which way I should present. So then I will get a conclusion. I will wear a mask, which will be, like comfortable for me, or I feel right to present. Then definitely I will have a confusion in my deep heart whether this mask will be accepted and approved. That is the thing. So that tension will be there. But since I am spiritually elevated and I will let things happen, masks are there, but I will see through the mask. When I look at you, though you are a woman, you are having these many attributes, but inside that attributes, I can see the oneness, the infinite reality, which is pervading everywhere. But if it is an ocean, you are a simple wave, as my own existence. When we get that unity of understanding, or you the experience of that unity, underlying reality, there, wearing the mask will become effortless. Life will be it doesn't have any weight, it doesn't have any influence. But I am enjoying each and every moment. This is the difference.
And then how do interactions change at that point? When the masks become easy and light, how does interaction look different in the world?
Because I am not bothered or tensed about the approval or appreciation about the mask. I am living as it is. Mask is an inevitable thing by nature, and I am not bothered about its, consequence. But many people are bothered about, majority of people are bothered about the consequence of their mask. But when you are spiritually experienced, you will not be bothered about that consequence. That's all.
Right, Guruji. A thought just came to my mind. As long as we are engaged in this world and we're always trying to play a certain role, you enter a room and you want to instantly assess your role or whatever it is, right? So I think in our life, we're constantly trying to fit in a certain role wherever in the society or in our family or whatever. And accordingly, we wear masks. So what you're saying is that when you realize that there is an eternity and there's a oneness, and that's where you really belong, then when you're coming here and participating in the world, you're not desperate to get attached to that role or get that constant like, oh, how do I fit in this? I'm a mother here, I'm a daughter here, I'm a teacher here. All of that does not happen. because you understand that you are not really, this is all a drama, changing drama. What you really are is beyond this, and it's a connectivity with the cosmos which can just be felt through spiritual sadhana.
Yes, again, these are all explanations.
Explanations.
Until we experience, we will not feel that weightlessness. Just for example, a person, climbed Mount Everest. Okay, then in his experience as a mountaineer, he was saying that as I was standing on the top of Mount Everest, I felt some kind of vibration and I got goosebumps. I could see the whole world. Like that, he will explain everything. He was trying to explain what he was experiencing. But we can read that book and we will make our own stories on that. Then we can explain, we can arrange a debate on that. Many things can happen. But until we reach to the top of Mount Everest, these things will be having a weight on us because it's an imaginary world. When we reach there, then these explanations will become insignificant. Then only we will come to know, oh, why I was explaining all these things. Because that explanation will not have any, match with the experience standing on top of Mount Everest. This is what I'm saying.
So basically, we are back to the sadhana, Guruji.
Of course.
Okay, so Guruji, tell us a little bit more about these masks. When we wear these masks, and everybody, please, if you have any questions, please bring those up as well. When we wear those masks, how does it taint our experience in the world? I feel like when I'm listening to you, Guruji, it seems like we keep wearing, the more masks we wear, the more masks we have to wear. It's like a lie. The more lies you tell, the more lies you have to tell.
Yes. Actually, again, please don't misunderstand. We are not wearing a mask. Actually, marks are being, imposed on us by nature. That is the law of nature. So that's why we are not having any kind of freedom in this life. We are born as a child of so and so, and we are growing as who I am. And one day we will die. We don't know why we are dying. And after that, where we will go? Nobody knows. So things are happening. This is what I say. It's a life of slavery. You don't have any control on these things. So a child is born, if it is a girl, many marks are imposed on that. Child doesn't have any other option. Then the child will be grown and it will become a love, then it will become a wife, then she will become a mother and she will become a grandmother. So these marks are being imposed. There is no other option. This is what I say. Nature will impose these things. How we can have that effortlessly? Many times we feel it's a compulsive action. So long as we limit ourselves within the limitations of the senses, its life is a consequence. It's a compulsive action. But we don't know why it's happening. But when we practice this one and go beyond our senses, there we will become conscious about the life.
Yes.
There, life is our own making life. It's not a compulsive thing, it's a conscious action. So that is the difference. Beyond that, we cannot explain. It should be experienced.
Yes, Guruji. Again, it's amazing. Whichever topic we start at, the end of it is always let's experience it. The truth needs to be experienced. It cannot be told. Guruji keeps reminding us, and I still keep trying to get get it out of him. So, Cami said it very nicely. The thing is that we got to play the roles assigned to us with a lightheartedness and the knowledge of who we actually are. So it's like how we are on stage as an actor. And when we're on stage as an actor, we don't really forget who we are, but we are just, while we are on stage, we're playing the part of an actor, not taking that too seriously because we know who we really are.
Yes.
So Guruji, there's some questions. I'm going to take some questions. Sam Jindal asks, will this practice of 24 minutes not create anxieties for a person recovering from anxiety disorder?
For coming out from the anxiety, will it help? That is the question.
No, somebody has an anxiety disorder, Guruji, where the
Okay.
experience of anxiety is, intense. And she's coming out of that anxiety disorder. So, sitting, sometimes people with that level of anxiety, actually sitting just in silence can trigger anxiety. So, she's asking that can this trigger anxiety in the person, or can they still do it?
Not only anxiety, any kind of disorder in our life, body and mind, will be eliminated gradually through the practice of meditation. It will not give any kind of side effect, I mean, wrong effects. Proper meditation will replace all kinds of, problems and requirement of meditation. That's why generally I say, learn systematic meditation and be away from the requirement of meditation.
Be aware of requirement of.
Practice systematic meditation, be away from, protect yourself from the necessity of medicines.
Yes, yes. Meditation and medicines are, the medicines can be replaced by meditation.
Yes.
And Guruji had explained to us, for those of you who are new and who've not heard this before, that everything in our body, all imbalances are chemical imbalances. They begin at chemical imbalances in our gland, and then they can manifest into disease as these chemicals, these endocrine glands that we have that secrete, that constantly change the environment of our body, and everything begins there, and then they can become full-fledged disease. When we meditate, we can regulate the activity of those glands. Regulating the activities of those glands now allows us to heal by ourselves for free. Usually we'll take chemical pills to change the environment of our body, but when we can do it just by ourselves through meditation, and we see that when people have healed and they have spontaneous healing and they have all of that, this is basically what's happening. They're just being able to change the activity of those glands. And the science here, modern science, has realized that all of these glands, they actually function because of the pituitary, because of what is the thinking environment in the brain, how is that functioning. That's how these glands are triggering whatever they are triggering. So Guruji had explained that as we do this sadhana and we hold the breath, we really are able now to control the control center. We take the full control of our own body and our mind, and we have that ability to change the functions of the glands. Right? Yeah, right, Guruji?
That's right.
Okay.
Life, the experience of life is a projection or a consequence of secretions in our body. So just now somebody asked about anxiety. Anxiety is an uncontrolled production of adrenaline.
Yes.
If that person get control over that gland, there is no more anxiety.
So the solution is really, and I see this more and more as I talk to Guruji, the solution is really to be our own master. And there is a proper active method to be our own master. You don't have to go through the intellect. Guruji keeps reminding us, all of today's, unfortunately, modern psychology, coaching is all about going through the intellect. But it can only happen through practice. When you do it through the intellect, it's very forced, it's full of effort, and it cannot last long. When it happens through experience, it becomes a part of you. Yes, Guruji? Yes,
Yes.
I can see that people are reading, including me, right? We've read so many self-help books and they still don't help. You're reading more self-help books because this is the real self-help. So, Guruji, there's one very interesting... Sorry, finish the answer.
When I was with my master, I was so keen to get more mantras from my master, and I used to tell my master, come on, master, please give mantra to that person, make him understand his problem. And I was little bit, compulsive. But Master used to say that. Master used to say that if you see a person who is hungry, he took that saying from English. The person is hungry, don't give him a fish. With a little patience, you teach him fishing. Then what will happen? He will be fit for getting his food the rest
Every
of
day.
his life.
Yeah.
Same way, when questions are coming, I can say, okay, this is the symptom of this one, take this. This is the symptom, take this. This is what is happening in our material world. Then we will be, being enslaved with this kind of getting things and solving them. But meditation is not like that. When we learn the art of fishing, art of meditation, we will be able to select and catch whatever is necessary from the ocean of life. Which fish we need, we will be talented to catch that fish. Otherwise, we don't know. We are crying for something and something is given, we have to be satisfied with that. So always we will be, tensed with anxiety. Oh, will it happen like this? Will I get this? So that person will provide me, system will provide. So we are totally, entangled into these kinds of thoughts. But if we know how to pluck out things the way we like, and we are educated, talented, and approved by the traditional science, then we have no worry about the next moment. Because we are trained. Whatever is necessary, we can produce for ourselves. That is what is called Brahma Bodha, the consciousness, art of creation. If I feel something, I need this, vitamin C is less. How can I create it? I know what to do, what to eat, how to hold the breath. Then it is done. So I am not bothered about that particular, achievement. Whenever it is necessary, I know how to get it. So this is where we have to develop ourselves. In technical, it is said Swayam Paryapta. Paryapta means self-sufficiency. The ability to get everything. This is what we should develop. So meditation will make everybody self-sufficient in each and every plane of life.
Absolutely, Guruji. That whatever we are seeking outside is truly inside, and to be able to create that inside or feel that inside of you at all points. Yes, very well said, Guruji. Guruji, Nidhi Mathur asks, don't our masks tell us more about our dharma? That these masks, don't they tell us about dharma? It reminds me again of what you said about Krishna and Arjun.
Please repeat question.
The question is, does our mask not tell us about our dharma?
So we have to tell about dharma.
No, that isn't the mask related to our dharma. Isn't our mask related to our dharma?
Okay. It's mask related to dharma. Dharma cannot be explained through the frame of mind. But because that is the reality of nature. So the marks are limiting us or separating us from the reality. So remove the marks, then dharma will be revealed. Dharma cannot be explained. It is beyond our senses. It is incomprehensible. The only process, like a person who is blind by birth, and he is asking for light, and he is asking about the relevance or significance of colors. He is asking, what is a color? What do you mean by yellow color or blue color? You are talking about color. What is that? Because that person is blind. He has a mark through which he cannot see the light. So what we have to do? Do the surgery, remove the shield which is making him blind. Once it is removed, he will be exposed to colors. Then the question will vanish. Same way, dharma is separated from us because our third eye is blocked. Remove that block, then dharma will be revealed.
We are confused about our dharma, really. And everything goes back to that exploration. We are all confused about who we are, what we have to do, how we have to do it. But the more connected we keep getting to the intuition, which is the combination of the instinct and our intellect, which we've lost. We have the intellect, we've lost the instinct. And as we keep going back and awakening that instinct, we already have the intellectual knowledge that we need. And we have lost our instinct. But once we combine the two, we become very intuitive about what we need to do. Like Guruji says, that inner guru keeps awakening. And as that happens, we start feeling more and more sure of how to conduct ourselves in the world without getting too obsessed or intense about every act that we do. And every time I think a situation happens, Guruji also, since I started talking to Guruji more so, every time something happens that leaves you uncomfortable or leaves me, leaves us uncomfortable as people, again, it's going back into awakening that instinct, and letting the answers. Guruji always says, when you're in the sound of silence, answers will come to you. You get in the sound of silence, continue to practice, and become available for yourself to realize your inner guru. And it becomes much more easy. Then to conduct yourself becomes much, much easier.
Yes.
Yeah, Guruji. Guruji, somebody asks one question that many spiritual practices support upward movement of prana, which is counterproductive to women's reproductive health. Is that true?
No. If you practice any kind of pranayama or meditation, I don't know which path that person is following, then from my experience, I can say one-sided action cannot happen. Every action will have equal and opposite reaction, according to modern science. Same way, in yoga also, if you try to control your prana, apana also equally be controlled. But maybe in the beginning, there will be some side effects. But that should be monitored and handle it carefully. That is why, in the beginning, the practice has to be under the observation of an experienced person. So this reproductive system naturally be activated through any kind of sadhana, unless we do a particular bandha or kriya to arrest that function. So it's like a medicine. If you take some vitamin tablet, it will enhance your system. But certain medicines can be used for certain purpose. If you have high fever, yes, you are having a paracetamol. That is for a deliberate, it's a deliberate action for a particular purpose. In yoga also, there are many things for different purposes. So it should be discussed with the experienced person and select according to the requirement.
But Guruji, you said the bandhas and pranayamas are not something you actively practice. They are something that automatically come to you as you go on your practice, right? They're just natural paths. They're just natural stations on the path, which you just stumble upon.
This is what I said. When we practice, we have to go through proper monitoring. When it happens and you establish in that, then you can use it for different purposes.
I see what you're saying. I see. Once you experience these naturally, then you know how to use them. Then it's like a tool that becomes a part of your toolkit.
Yes,
and then you
understand. Then these questions will not arrive.
So clearly we are not there, Guruji. That's why we're still asking these questions. Okay, now last question, Guruji. How can one practice silence? Please guide. So
stop the breath.
Guruji, let's really talk about this. But even to practice silence, right? I actually want to talk about silence maybe next time. You know, Guruji, so I have been doing this one exercise with myself and the children as well, because we're all in one apartment and we're all trying to do our work because there's a quarantine that, not school is just barely started. So they're like, oh, this noise is happening and that noise. And so we do one practice where we close our eyes and then I say, okay, listen to the car outside. Now listen to the rain outside. Listen to the gas in the house or listen to some other noises. And then I say, listen to silence. And it's possible to listen to silence even when all of this is happening, right? Because whatever you put your mind to, you listen. So Guruji, can you tell us how to come back to that state of silence in the middle of a chaotic day?
Best way is to listen a sound in a continuous way. Like you can keep, what is it, Shruti box. When you practice music, you will use a basic sound. It is called, in Sanskrit, it's called Shruti, but in English, what you will say, it's a basic rhythm.
Yeah. So you actually get
So,
those, yes.
yeah, if you see a concert, you can see guitarist will come, he will
Yeah.
make ting, ting, he will make tune with
A
that.
rhythm,
So
yes.
there will be a particular rhythm, and everybody will get connected to that.
Yes.
Same way, you can keep either a mantra, which will be repeated. So your mind will be associated with that, or a continuous sound, which will match with our breath. Then the external things will dissolve in that. Then you can focus only on that. Slowly, from that, you can immerse yourself into your silence. No sound.